In 2019, Stanford researchers made a shocking discovery. They found that the way you breathe can literally change your brain, your emotions, and even your ability to manifest your goals. Two groups set out to create their desired realities. Group 1 used traditional visualization. Group 2 combined visualization with a rhythmic pattern known as coherent breathing. After 30 days, the second group achieved results 340% faster. Brain scans revealed something astonishing. Their neural patterns mirrored those of advanced meditation masters who had trained for decades. This was not magic, it was measurable transformation through breath. So ask yourself, what if the key to shaping your life isn't about thinking harder, but breathing smarter? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly how. The science of conscious breathing. Most people think breathing is only about oxygen, a simple act that sustains life. But what science now reveals is that breath is far more than biology. It is a direct line of communication with the deepest systems of the human body. Every inhale and exhale sends coded messages through the autonomic nervous system, the silent network governing your heartbeat, hormones, digestion, and emotional balance. With each conscious breath, you are not merely filling your lungs, you are rewriting the signals that shape your internal state. When you breathe shallow and fast, your body enters survival mode. The sympathetic nervous system floods your bloodstream with stress hormones, sharpening focus but limiting intuition and creativity. Yet when you slow your breath, steady, rhythmic, deliberate, something remarkable happens. You activate the parasympathetic system, the branch responsible for calm, restoration, and healing. Your brain waves begin to shift. The frantic beta frequencies associated with tension and logic soften into alpha and theta rhythms, the same waves found in artists, deep meditators, and manifestors. It is in these frequencies that the mind becomes most receptive, imagination flourishes, and the boundary between thought and reality begins to blur. But the transformation does not stop at the brain. Your breath also reshapes your heart's rhythm, measured as heart rate variability, or HRV. When your breathing becomes coherent and fluid, your heart's rhythm stabilizes into elegant patterns of harmony. This state of heart-brain coherence is more than emotional peace. It's electromagnetic alignment. The human heart emits a field of energy that extends several feet beyond the body. When that field becomes strong and ordered, it influences not only your biology, but also the environment around you. In this harmony, you are no longer just a body breathing air. You become a living transmitter of energy. Your breath becomes your signal to the universe, broadcasting intention, emotion, and frequency into the fabric of reality itself. The electromagnetic reality. Modern science is beginning to confirm what mystics and philosophers have whispered for centuries, that energy follows emotion, and emotion is guided by breath. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research reveals that when specific breathing techniques are combined with elevated emotions, gratitude, love, joy, or awe, the body's electromagnetic field undergoes a measurable transformation. Your heart, the most powerful generator of energy within you, begins to emit a new frequency, one that radiates coherence rather than chaos. This electromagnetic signature becomes your personal broadcast signal, a field of vibration that interacts with the invisible architecture of reality. And according to both physics and spirituality, what you emit is what you attract. Every thought you think
and every feeling you sustain creates an electrical signal in your nervous system. These signals ripple outward into what quantum physicists call the quantum field, a vast ocean of potential realities, waiting to be observed, influenced, and collapsed into form. Here, your breath becomes the amplifier. Each conscious inhale strengthens the signal of your intention. Each calm exhale releases interference, the noise of doubt, fear, and resistance. In this steady rhythm, your inner state begins to shape your outer world. Breath, emotion, and thought merge into one coherent frequency, a blueprint for manifestation written in energy. The HeartMath Institute has spent decades studying this connection between breath, emotion, and the electromagnetic field of the heart. Their experiments show that individuals in states of high coherence, achieved through slow, rhythmic breathing, can influence random physical systems, such as random number generators, with a measurable effect. In other words, consciousness, when harmonized through breath, interacts with the physical world itself. You are not a passive observer in this universe. You are a living field of energy, shaping, resonating, transmitting, and your breath is the dial that tunes your frequency to the reality you wish to experience.
Ancient wisdom meets neuroscience. Long before laboratories and neural scanners, humanity understood that breath was the bridge between body and spirit, the thread that wove consciousness into creation. Across cultures and centuries, masters of the unseen recognized that the rhythm of breath could summon peace, awaken power, and even shape destiny itself. In the Vedic and yogic traditions, this life force was called prana, the invisible energy flowing through every living being. To the ancient yogis, breathing was not just survival, it was sacred technology. Through practices like pranayama, they learned to direct prana through energy channels, balancing mind and body, and aligning the self with universal intelligence. When the breath flowed harmoniously, the world around them followed. Inner alignment became outer order. The Hermetic philosophers of ancient Egypt and Greece taught a similar law, as above, so below. They believed the microcosm reflected the macrocosm, that the rhythm of one's inner world dictated the pattern of external reality. To them, breath was the metronome of creation. When your breathing is chaotic, life mirrors chaos. When your breathing becomes steady and deliberate, the outer world begins to mirror that coherence. Within the Egyptian mystery schools, initiates learned that the ka, the breath, represented both vitality and the spiritual double of the human being. Each inhalation was a drawing in of divine essence, each exhalation the act of giving it form. To breathe was to shape the unseen into the tangible, to animate matter with soul. High in the Himalayas, Tibetan monks refined this wisdom into a science of the spirit. Their practice of tumo, or inner fire breathing, allowed them to generate heat in freezing temperatures, consciously altering body temperature and immune function, a feat now verified by modern research. They taught that the mind is a wild horse, and breath is the rope that tames it. And today, neuroscience echoes what these mystics always knew. The breath is not only air, it is energy, information, and intelligence, a dialogue between your biology and the universe itself.
The 4 pillars of breath manifestation. Every breath you take carries intelligence, a message between your body, mind, and the universe itself. To manifest consciously, you must breathe consciously. Through centuries of wisdom and modern research, 4 fundamental pillars have emerged, the foundations of what we now call breath manifestation.
Each one represents a precise harmony between physiology and energy, science and spirit. Pillar 1. Energetic alignment. Every emotion has its own rhythm of breath. When you're anxious, your breath becomes shallow and fast. Your body believes it's under threat. When you're calm, joyful, or confident, your breath naturally slows and deepens, signaling safety and expansion. Here lies the first secret. You can reverse engineer emotion through breathing. If you want to feel abundant, breathe as abundance would. If you want to feel courage, breathe like confidence feels. Your body obeys breath before it obeys thought. Through controlled respiration, you're not pretending to feel. You are teaching your nervous system to become that feeling. The external reality simply follows the internal command. Pillar 2. Subconscious reprogramming. Your subconscious mind listens to the pattern of your breath more than the words in your mind. Fast, erratic breathing tells it you're unsafe, activating survival mode and shutting down higher possibilities. But slow, steady breathing signals safety. In that safety, the subconscious becomes open, receptive, and programmable. The most potent moment comes in the stillness between breaths, the quiet pause after exhale and before inhale. In that gap, the conscious mind lets go and the subconscious awakens. Use that space to plant new beliefs, new images, new realities. It is the silent doorway through which transformation enters. Pillar 3. Reality anchoring. Most people visualize without embodiment. They think, but they don't feel. Breath changes that. When you breathe while visualizing, your body begins releasing the very hormones of joy, fulfillment, and peace that would exist if your goal were already achieved. Dopamine rewards you with motivation, serotonin stabilizes mood, and oxytocin expands love and trust. Your entire biology begins to live your manifestation now. This emotional congruence tells the universe this is real, and the universe, always responsive to coherence, reflects it back into your experience. Pillar 4. Quantum field access. Beyond the body lies the quantum field, a sea of infinite possibilities where every potential reality exists as vibration. Your breath is the dial that tunes your consciousness to one of those frequencies. When your breathing becomes coherent, calm, and rhythmic, your energy field synchronizes with the vibration of your chosen reality, like aligning to a cosmic radio station. The more consistent your coherence, the faster your desired potential collapses into form. This is where science meets spirituality, breath as the mechanism that connects thought, emotion, and energy, creating matter from mind. In every inhale, you tune your energy. In every exhale, you align your world. These 4 pillars are not just philosophy, they are the blueprint for conscious creation itself.
The 3-step breath manifestation practice. You now understand how breath bridges body, mind, and energy, but knowledge becomes transformation only through practice. This 3-step method is your daily ritual for aligning physiology with intention, emotion with reality. It is both ancient and modern, a process rooted in timeless wisdom, yet verified by today's neuroscience. Each step clears, aligns, and anchors your energy, creating coherence between who you are and what you desire to experience. Step 1. Energetic clearing. Purpose. Release resistance, tension, and emotional residue that block manifestation. Begin by sitting tall, feet grounded, spine relaxed but alert. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose. Fill your lungs completely. Then exhale forcefully through your mouth with a gentle sound. With each exhale, imagine letting go of fear, doubt, guilt, or any energy no longer serving you. Feel it leaving your body as mist dissolving into air. Repeat this 7 times. This isn't symbolic, it's physiological. Each powerful exhale activates the vagus nerve, lowering heart rate, calming stress, and resetting the body's internal rhythm. In this clarity, your nervous system enters safety, the only state where creation can truly begin. Step 2. Vibrational alignment. Purpose. Synchronize your inner frequency with the energy of your desired outcome. Close your eyes and bring your goal to mind. See it vividly. Now, more importantly, feel it. What emotions arise when it's already real? Gratitude, relief, joy? Breathe into those emotions. Use the 4-4-6-2 pattern. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Hold empty for 2. This rhythm induces heart-brain coherence, syncing analytical thought with emotional intelligence. Each cycle stabilizes your electromagnetic field, imprinting your intention into your physiology. Don't force the visualization. Embody it. Let every breath confirm it's already done. Step 3. Reality anchoring. Purpose. Ground your energetic shift into physical form. Place one hand on your heart, the other on your abdomen. Continue breathing gently and deeply. With each inhale, feel your new reality integrating within you. The sensations, emotions, confidence, and calm. With each exhale, release any final resistance to receiving it. After 10 cycles, remain still. Notice the peace that settles, the certainty that replaces effort. You've taught your body how your future feels, and the body becomes the messenger to the universe. This is not imagination. It is embodiment, a biological signal transmitted through every heartbeat and breath, telling reality, I am ready. In this coherence, creation no longer requires striving. You are already breathing your new world into being.
The neuroscience of breath and belief. Behind every mystical experience of breath lies a measurable biological reality. Modern neuroscience is uncovering what ancient masters intuitively knew, that breath is the master key to the human system, capable of transforming thought into physiology and belief into biology. The vagus nerve. At the center of this connection lies the vagus nerve, the body's great communicator. It is the longest cranial nerve, linking your brain to your lungs, heart, and gut. Every breath you take sends messages through this vast network, shaping how your body feels and how your mind perceives. When you breathe consciously, slow, deep, and rhythmic, you stimulate this nerve like striking a tuning fork of calm. Cortisol, the stress hormone, drops. Clarity rises. Your heart rate slows, digestion improves, and the fog of anxiety begins to lift. It is not imagination.
It is electrical harmony, neuroplasticity. At Stanford University, neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman found that specific breathing patterns can trigger neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural pathways. This means every intentional breath is an act of rewiring. You're not just calming the mind, you're teaching your brain to build new circuits of belief, confidence, and emotional control. Old patterns dissolve, new possibilities take root. In the language of biology, breath becomes the sculptor of consciousness. Heart-brain synchrony. And when the heart and brain fall into rhythm, the body becomes a coherent system of creation. The heart's electromagnetic field is 60 times stronger than the brain's, radiating energy measurable several feet beyond the body. Through coherent breathing, these two centers begin to speak the same language, intention. When they do, thought turns to frequency, and frequency turns to form. Your breath, in its quiet power, unites every system, the neural, the emotional, the energetic, into one single harmonized force of creation.
Your breath isn't just air, it's information, energy, and power. Every inhale writes your future. Every exhale releases your past. Within this rhythm lies the oldest and most intimate language of creation. You've never needed to force your reality to change. You were always shaping it with every breath you took. When you breathe with awareness, you activate intelligence beyond thought, the silent partnership between heart, mind, and energy. So slow down. Inhale possibility. Exhale limitation. Let each breath remind you, you are both the creator and the creation. The still point where science meets spirit, and the universe listens to the rhythm of your breath to know what to make real.